Looking to add some waterproofing to your iPhone? I gotcha. I've tested a ton of pouches and cases, so in the next few minutes I'm going to give you the top 3 waterproof cases that I've tested, as well as my pick for a waterproof pouch. And then I want to end the video off with what products I'm actually going to bring on my vacation this summer. Now for this review, I've tested every single product here against size, MagSafe compatibility, screen access quality, handling, durability, drop-in water protection, as well as sound quality. Ready, Monty? Let's get into it. Over the last few years, I've seen a ton of advertisements for these waterproof pouches. So I bought as many as I could. And out of this collection, there is only one that I would recommend. Now, the only time I would use this pouch is in a pool, not at the lake or the ocean. Here's why. In the pouch, outside of water, you can use your iPhone, no problem. But the moment the iPhone goes in the water, you can't use it anymore. All the water squishes against it and your screen becomes kind of dead. Which means if you're in the ocean or the lake, you're kind of like treading water, trying to push things on your phone. It's annoying, kind of unsafe if you don't know how to float. I can't float. So at the pool, I would go with this Pelican product or this knockoff Pelican product. Pelican sure spent a lot of time making this product, eh? Craziest thing though is that the knockoff product is a little bit more expensive. Now these two products are rated to IP68 and they're only rated to 3.3 feet in terms of depth. That's about the depth of a normal pool, right? Now these non-floating ones, they're just basically a plastic bag. There's a good chance that you could probably get away with Ziploc bags instead. These pouches are rated to 100 feet according to the Amazon description, but if you lose this in the ocean or the lake, it's just gonna go sink. It's not floating. Now out of this group of pouches, there's one that's actually really good. It's the ESR Waterproof Pouch Pro. This thing allows you to use your device underwater up to 3 meters. Now this thing is rated to 30 meters, but ESR says that the screen won't work after 3. So the unique thing about this product is that it's 2 parts. You've got a cradle where the iPhone goes into. And the secret to this product is the plastic. It doesn't actually sit on the screen. So when you're in the water, you can still use the screen. This case comes with buttons, which is something I can't say for like these things, which means you can start and stop your videos if you really wanted to underwater. And the best part is that because I can fit an iPhone with a screen protector in it, I can just take it out, put it back in my normal case when I don't need this bulky pouch. All right, done with the pouches. Let's talk about the cases. Now some of you might be thinking the iPhone is waterproof, but the waterproofing on the iPhone is for protection for the iPhone. Getting a waterproof case for your iPhone is for you so they can have fun with your iPhone. 2 different things. Now according to my scoring system, this Catalyst case was supposed to come in at number 3, but it had a fatal flaw, so I disqualified from the top 3. I'll get into it. Number 3 goes to cases from SportLink as well as CozyCase. These cases are identical. This case costs around 20 bucks, which is significantly cheaper than the top 2. But like always, you get what you pay for. These cases have an IPX68 certification, which means it's good for water and nothing else. Packaging says it's drop proof, but neither of the products say how high you can drop it from. And evidently, the case is not MagSafe compatible. The buttons on the case are stiff and could be a little more flaccid. Screen protector is decent and doesn't mess with the quality of my iPhone screen. As a side note, all the screen protectors that I've tested with these newest waterproof cases are really good. Apparently somebody figured out how to get rid of that like pixelization that would come with these waterproof cases, because between last year and this year, it looks amazing, so cool. This case handles quite well as the entire case edge is quite rubbery and has these grippy grooves in it. There's a large sturdy looking lanyard attachment point. When it comes to the drop protection, I dropped it a bunch of times. The case stayed together, but this case provided slightly below average impact protection from my measurements. These cases do look a little rough after my drop tests, especially when you compare it to my best case. This thing looks really rough. Dropped the same amount of times in the same spot. Now with the IPX8 rating, you can submerge this for 3 feet at 60 minutes or 6 feet for 30 minutes. Now when I did my water test, it didn't fail the tissue test, but because of the case design, water ended up on the inside of the seal. Seriously, the thought of my iPhone becoming moist is quite unnerving to me. Sound from the iPhone doesn't get muted, but it's just not as loud as some of the other waterproof cases I've tested. So technically, this Catalyst waterproof should have been number 3, but the back of this case pops out after 2 drops. That's a big no-no for me. All right, before we carry on, if you are planning on getting one of these products, please use my link. I'm a reviewer, not an influencer. I do not care what product you get as long as you use my links. I'm just a dude who just wants to know what the best tech accessories are, so if you want to support me, best way to do that is just to get your stuff through my links. Number 2 goes to the OtterBox Free. Now this is one of the slimmer waterproof cases, but it's not the slimmest. If you want to know what the slimmest is, well, keep watching. Now the LifeProof Free is basically a staple when it comes to waterproof cases. I've been reviewing Frees for like 10 years now, but this is one of the most expensive cases that I've tested. So is it worth the hefty price tag? Generally, yes, but OtterBox is like that restaurant that charges you extra for pickup and doesn't really give you napkins. Like, they're so cheap. The only thing in this box, other than the case, was a microfiber cloth. Now this is One of the tougher cases that I've tested with a mil standard 810G rating, which means it's drop and water rated to 6.6 feet. It's MagSafe compatible. Though certain accessories, the camera bump here will get in the way. The screen of my iPhone looks pretty good. For a plastic screen protector, no diffusion, but glare is still an issue. Buttons on this case are incredibly stiff. Seriously, these buttons are stiffer than my morning coffee after I've reheated it 3 times. The case has a nice, really grippy front. Won't slide around easily, but the back is very slick. Now this case stayed together through all my drop tests, though the impact protection that I measured on my iPhone was slightly below average. This corner is where the lanyard gets attached and it just got crushed during my drops. So I guess I'm not taking this into the lake or the ocean anymore. When it comes to my water test, yeah, no issue. And if you're wondering, OtterBox still uses a gasket along the edge of the back panel. Personally, the gasket is the better design option because some of these other cases, they just snap together. Only issue with the gasket is sometimes it comes out and it's annoying to put back in. Sound coming from this case is quite loud at 103 decibels. And the beautiful thing with waterproof cases is that because the case back doesn't sit flush against the back of the iPhone, kind of get this reverberation effect. And so the sound coming out from the bottom of the iPhone actually travels to the back and it doesn't mute it. This was number 2. Let's talk about number 1, which is not that guy, this guy. The GhostTech Nautical 4. This is one of the beefiest cases in my test group, and you guys know me. I like them thick and strong. When it comes to waterproof cases, now with the Nautical 4, I do have an issue with the waterproofing. It doesn't fail, but I'll get into it. If you thought this free was expensive, this thing's even more expensive. But you do get what you pay for. This case, obviously, is MagSafe compatible. This case is drop rated to 12 feet. And is IP68 rated to 20 feet, which is crazy, but it's not mil standard 810G. And from my understanding, mil standard 810G is the better rating. You'll run into the same issue with the camera hump bumping up against certain MagSafe accessories. And the screen is just very normal for a waterproof case. The overall texture of the case is quite nice. You have oversized corners that dig into the palm of your hand, and the grip strips help you pick it up. Now button access is decent on this case, but Nautical is kind of lazy because instead of making buttons for the action button on the Pro version, they kept the plastic covering, which is just kind of lame. And leads to the issue with the waterproofing and the drop proofing with this product. Didn't have any issues putting things into this hole. And unlike the OtterBox free, the lanyard attachment point didn't get crushed during drops. Now when it comes to drops, the oversized corners adds a lot of protection. In fact, it was the best performing case in terms of drop protection. And the cherry on top of this waterproof case sundae is, it comes with a belt holster. I will note that screen access is a little annoying because the edges of the case are incredibly high. So sometimes it gets in the way of scrolling to the top of a web page or anything or any app. Now, unlike other GhostTech cases, the iPhone just sits in a polycarbonate frame. There's no foam. It definitely did diminish the protection it offered my iPhone, but still kind of worth noting. Now, unlike the OtterBox free with its gasket, the back plate of the Nautical is just a piece of flexible plastic. The edges have a lot of give to them and they snap around the front of the case. And as you can see during drops, that piece doesn't actually make contact with the ground. It's this corner. Now my issue with this Nautical is right here. GhostTech should have put a button instead of just leaving it with a plastic film. Now when it came to dropping this product, I didn't have any issues, but the Nautical's little brother, Nautical Slim, has that same design feature, and this thing pops off during drops. As you can tell, there is no lip that wraps around the front of this case. But because everything is so tight, it's not an issue. Sound coming from the Nautical 4 was really loud, so there's no chance that you won't be able to hear the 18 text notifications that occur in 78 seconds from your mother. So that's the best waterproof case that I've tested, the Nautical 4. But if you're looking for a case to provide 360-degree protection, you know, from dust, from the occasional water you're not taking it swimming to shoot turtles in the ocean, then get the Nautical Slim. This case is the best handling case that I've tested in this video. The buttons aren't stiff, they float, so they have a really nice response to them. This case is incredibly slim, so it's going to fit anywhere where you put it. And the crazy thing is that it's 12 feet drop tested. This tiny thing. But do not drop this like 12 times and then throw it into the water because this part will pop off. Like the thing popped off towards the end of my testing, not like the Catalyst case, which popped off at the beginning. All right, I'm spending a lot of time at the ocean during this summer, and which product am I going to take? It's going to be this thing. I'm excited to use this. At $26, what can go wrong? All right, that's all I got for this video. Questions, comments, leave them down there. If you found it useful, remember, get your stuff through my site. I'm a reviewer, not an influencer. I do not care what product you get as long as you use my links and as long as my video is helpful to you. That's kind of all I got. I'm reviewing solar panels next. Thanks for watching.